Uh-oh. Ah, ah, ah. Uh-oh.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home and podcast time.
That's right. Benford Tools is proud to present a Home Improvement Podcast. My name is Adam Neal, my co-host Jordan. Good evening, Jordan.
Good evening. Sun's starting to set over here. Sun's getting real low, so it's an evening edition of Home and Podcast.
Indeed it is, and that is why I said that. So glad we are on the
Just
same
trying
page.
to set the mood a little bit. Although this episode doesn't really work for that at all, so...
This is going to be a funny one. Yeah, there's nothing funnier than two guys talking about menopause.
I said that to my wife, and she just kind of laughed. So she's like, "You'll have a unique perspective." Yep, we sure will.
But that no one wants, you know. It is every once in a while we find ourselves in this position where, it just would be better if anybody else talked about the subject matter. But we're just gonna recite details as they're given to us. So no commentary from me on any end because I don't know.
Oh man!
But how you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Week's flying by. You know, it's nice to have actually home and podcast in the middle of the week, and then think, wow, it's almost the weekend already.
That's true. That is true.
Just give you something to look forward to on Hump Day. We're gonna be doing 2 episodes this week, so I get to talk to you twice. So it's gonna be a good week. I know you're excited.
This is our first ever 2 episodes in one recording, right?
Have they? Probably, because I don't think they've ever done a 2-part episode before, have they?
I don't think so, because when this first one ended, it seemed very strange. It was kind of like, huh. Like, I knew it was going to be a continuation, but I was still like, yeah, okay.
When are they going to do it?
Yeah, right. It's kind of like, okay, let's get there. So, yeah, we're doing some different stuff. It's a surreal home and podcast, you might say.
Wow. Do you want us to start talking about the episodes then?
I think we have to, yeah, for the sake of time, you know?
Episodes 194 and 95. Love's Labor Lost, Part 1 and Part 2, written by Elliot Schuenman and Marley Sims. They lasted all in the family. I think that's where Jeff and Carrie start to date and get it on.
Kind of like the idea of that one. I don't know if I actually liked it when I watched it.
I think we were flummoxed by the couple. These 2 episodes aired February 23rd and March 2nd of 1998. So they were not back-to-back. They were split up by a week. So there was a whole week that went by where people were wondering, what's going to happen to Jill?
And it is quite the dramatic ending. You know, it has a little bit of ER vibes or something where, you know, you get the machine beeping and it's pretty serious. Beep. I didn't know you got clips.
That's my soundboard.
Now, did the same writers write each
Both,
episode?
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. Interesting. I have alternative titles for both sections.
You told me that, and I was a bit confused, but I tried to come up with that. I have 3 for the first episode and 2 for the second, but I don't know why they couldn't just be for all of them.
I have 5, and then it looks like 3 for the second one. So what happened was I did the first set, and I was like, I'm not even going to do them for the second set. And then I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I should just think about it. And then after like 10 seconds, I had 3. So I was like,
creative juices were flowing, so you had no choice.
But we should get going with our part 1 alternative titles. I have 5. You said you have 3?
Before we do that, I didn't know there was a William Shakespeare play called Love's Labor Lost for some reason.
Certainly have heard the saying a lot. I'm not sure I would have known that either.
Yeah. Also, you know, Polly Holliday's final appearance in this episode.
I had to wonder. I don't want to spoil anything, but I think she goes out with a bang.
Agreed. All right, so you got 5. You should go first.
Okay. Ooh, where to start? Let's start with this one. The Boyne Boys.
Boyne Boys.
Hey, what up? We the Boyne Boys.
That's the new rap group.
Indeed, yeah.
Okay. My first one is musically inclined as well, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. Doctor, give me the news.
Keep going. It'll get depressing fast.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work for the rest of the song.
All right. So. This one. That's the end of this discussion. Period. A lot of menstruation jokes.
Wow. Yikes.
Yep.
I guess I didn't get that one. All right. An uphill battle.
Yeah, that's good. What? Oh, because the skiing is uphill?
That's right.
Okay. I have nipples, Tim. Can you milk me?
Oh, man. What a great movie.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
So quotable, too.
Really ages well, too. It's just like, it's still funny.
I always, like, I would say my favorite quote that I still use quite a bit is, "It's just a game, Fokker." Every
Sure.
time I say it, somebody laughs.
That is funny, yeah.
So, it's a good contextual joke still. All right, my last one. It's real stupid, I think, and I don't even really know necessarily what it's in reference to, at least for part of it. So, a dope in the slope.
I guess Tim doesn't handle things very well.
I guess so.
Kind of a tale of two Tims here. Mm-hmm. That's not an alternative title, but it could have been.
We've done that before, I think so.
We have to have. Excuse me. I will do this. It's not a tumor. And lastly, you have heard of Barbie Expo 99, but have you heard of Marty Expo 99?
No one would attend it.
Would you please go with me?
I'll pay you to not go. How about
What would
that?
Marty Expo 99 look like? If we had more time, I would riff on that, but I think it wouldn't be a ton of fun, would it?
No, but those episode titles, alternative titles, were very fun. So
Not bad. Yeah.
can't wait to hear your next three in about 10 minutes. All
I
right,
don't have any memory of what they are, so I will also be excited.
that's good. You know, knowing you might not be able to read them. So
I'm typing now. I chose the very end of the podcast to start typing all my notes.
that's good. It took you about 3.5 years, but
4
you've made it.
years. Well, I'm finally getting into technology, you know?
Well, that explains what happened last week.
Oh, you don't go there. Don't go there.
All right, part one. We're gonna open on Tool Time. Tim and Al come out with the skis. A ski maintenance show on Tool Time. Gotta be one of the weirdest shows that they've done, right?
Feels like a real stretch to me. I don't know.
Like, I mean, at this point, let's just wheel out Alan Jackson again. Come on.
Well, that would be so much better because he'd
What
do
are
a
we
whole
doing?
song.
Yeah. We learned that Al's dad was in the Olympics, and he was a biathlete. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, right. Lame.
Yep. Guest is Dolph Spetterlink, I think it was. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, sounds
I didn't
about
look
right.
at the IMDb, but he's a giant of a man.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a German fella, I believe.
Well, based on the jokes, I'd say yeah.
He's either Austrian or German. The music goes on a little bit long. Klaus, maybe feeling a bit of kinship, was just playing the music. I don't know.
I guess. He got really carried away. I'll do a bio on this guy. He's Austrian in real life. His name is Roland Kickinger. Has appeared in films like Terminator Salvation, where he played a T-800, Disaster Movie, Lethal Weapon 4, and one of your favorites, Jordan, Son of the Beach. He was only in Volume 1. You like Volume 2.
Volume 3 is the best. It's very rare that the number 3 film is the best, but in Son of a Beach, that is the case.
He's actually in kind of a lot of stuff, more than you would think. Looks like he's an Arnold Schwarzenegger stunt double from time to time. So
I can see that.
yeah.
They're going to be showing off a maintenance belt for like the stainless steel skis that Tim has. Al has some like more antique wood skis. I guess that checks out as far as what you would expect. Dolph and Al are going to work on the antique skis, leaving Tim to just work on the machine by himself, which is a terrible idea because we all know what happens on the show. And accordingly, I think Dolph says like "nine," and that means no. And Tim doesn't get it. He turns it up to 9. So I guess it would be 9. I think he said 9. Yeah. And the skis go through the window. Luckily, no one's hurt. But man, those things flew.
Yeah, it's not so hot as far as an opening scene goes. We're stuffing this kraut with toppings of the German variety. A lot of German jokes here. None of them really working. Tim, I mean, the biathlete bisexual joke is bad. We don't really need to pay that any credence. But just how about Tim being so unimpressed by Al's dad being an Olympian? Or was it his grandfather? Was his dad or grandfather?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Some paternal guy.
If you told me your dad or grandfather was an Olympian, I'm hearing you out. I want to hear some stories.
Adam, I got news
Tim's
for you.
Terry was in Sochi? Wow.
Oh man. Yeah, that is a bit rude, but you know what? It's par for the course for Tim. He's been mean to Al lately. I think this is what happens to Tool Time. He's just mean to Al, and the show's got to end. So,
Tale of two Tims. All right, we're home. Tim has a boy and brochure. They're going Boyne. They're going skiing. Brad's
should
still
we talk about if you've been to Boyne or your skiing?
I feel like we have already. I think
Really?
that we've gotten Boyne before on this show. I'm quite sure. Yeah. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. I can't remember when, but it's been a couple years. But
Your mind is a lockbox, so.
Yep. Brad is still limping.
Yeah.
He can't ski, but he's excited for the snow bunnies, the babes. Hey, babe.
No crutches though, right? I don't think there's any crutches in this episode, so he's just hopping around all the time.
Evidently, which seem less functional. Go ahead and just hold on to those crutches. If it's pride, hey, you know what? Pride comes before the fall. That's what I would
Yeah,
say.
especially on those ski hills. My goodness.
They made a Pamplona joke that the audience
Wow.
just like completely didn't get. Did you notice that? Like,
Yeah.
the audience was crickets. It was like this Hemingway reference was kind of lost on them, I guess. I mean, I would have been lost on me too at the time, but it was just kind of funny.
Yeah, it doesn't quite fit the normal jokes. I mean, there was a bisexual joke in the last scene, so.
That's true. We're jumping all over the place. Jill skipping the vacation to work on her thesis. Surprise, surprise. She's having some ailments lately. Her period has been sort of screwed up, and she's been bloated. Tim doesn't want to hear about any of it. It is a reoccurring gag over the course of
What
the
a
scene.
good gag it is.
Oh my god! You want to talk about things not aging well? Jeez, all any of this. He acts like he's like 6 years old when she's talking about like her menstrual cramps. It's wild.
Oh, man.
Patty is back, and I was excited to see Patty.
Yeah, she didn't have as much to do in these episodes as maybe we would have liked, but she's got a new hairdo.
And here's the funny thing. I saw her hair and I immediately thought, oh, I like that. And then Tim makes a bad hair joke like a second later. I gotta get your thoughts. What do you think of her hair?
I didn't think it looked bad. Which I like better, I don't know, I guess. But I don't think it looks bad by any means. It doesn't deserve a joke. But you know what? Tim's just off kilter right now.
He's having a tough time. Jill hasn't been to the gyno in a few years.
Bad move,
because
Jill.
She's been so busy working on a master's degree.
Come on.
I had plenty of time to go to the doctor when I was getting my master's. I probably went too much. The insurance was so good. Tim is sickened by the conversation and cannot eat. Not such a great second scene either, to be
The
honest.
dope in the slopes.
Yeah, you said it. I want to find out if this is Paddy's last appearance because we will need to pour one out for her if it is.
They did not say that on the trivia, but that might just be because she's not as
She's
big.
She's not as big time.
You know who is big time?
Yeah.
In the next scene, Marty. He's big time. At least in this season. He's been in like every episode for 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah.
He's with Tim. They're talking about like Tim's excited to go skiing and snowmobiling and all this stuff, and meanwhile Marty's like, I'm gonna be at Barbie. You said Barbie Expo?
Barbie Expo 99.
Okay, I wrote on Barbie Fest. They both sound fun. Jill calls. Did you know on Netflix they have a Barbie show now? My daughter watches that sometimes. So
Jordan, I did not know that. If I
is
did
that
know
on
that,
your Netflix recommendations, Adam?
if I knew that, I think we'd be in some trouble. I want to say right now, Jordan, that this is Paddy's last appearance. So,
No.
guess how many episodes she was in?
8?
7, pretty close. Feels like a lot. I liked Paddy. If you want me to give my favorite Paddy memories, I'm gonna say the time she was going out with that guy and Brad got in the car accident.
Yes.
That was kind of a funny scene at
Very
someone's
memorable
apartment.
Patty moment. She didn't. It's funny.
I'll say underutilized.
Yeah, I was like, if I think of her compared to Karen in the first season and how much you hated Karen, and how much Karen was in the show versus Patty and how she was in the show, yeah, it's not enough Patty, but what are you gonna do?
As far as friends go, okay, let's
Rank
think of
Patty, Marie, Karen.
Who else is there?
Eileen, I guess.
Are they really friends? Okay. Okay.
When you're married with 3 kids you know.
Fair. All right. 4, Karen. 3, Eileen. 2, Marie. 1, Patty.
That's the correct order.
Yeah, perfect. We could be aligned on that. All right.
I miss Marie as well.
My locket.
She just had some funny lines.
She was funny. She was a little overqualified for the role, I felt. Even though she didn't do anything after Home Improvement, I think she should have done more.
Well,
frankly.
and you know what? Part of her ambiance was she was tied with the Meat Man for a while. And Meat Man has 99% approval rating, maybe?
Hey, if Meat Man were our president right now, all I'm saying is we'd be in a lot better shape. All right, sorry, I interrupted your Marty talk, so please continue.
Oh, well, good. We're done with Marty because we already talked about Barbie Fest. Jill calls. She's at the OBGYN. She'll need to be picked up in an hour. I guess Patty dropped her off, maybe? That's Patty's, final thing. She's dropped her off in the OBGYN.
Not a lot of dignity in that, is there?
Marty says the only thing that he likes about being separated from Nancy, and you know what, Marty, Nancy, good riddance for you.
Yeah. I'm sure the feeling's mutual.
Yeah, is no more tampon talk or something like that. Tim, and this is, if we talk about the worst of the 3 scenes so far, this is definitely in the running because then Tim and Marty are doing impressions of the different types of tampons and sizes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Somehow this is one of the gifts you can get when you search on Twitter for Home Improvement. There's one of Tim and Marty having this conversation, which is pretty weird.
You just talked about our hot takes in the last episode about how we think the show ages better. This episode might be a case study in why it does not.
I know. It truly, this is some of the most 90s stuff, especially this tampon stuff. I don't know, and the audience is just eating it up. I felt like I was on the outside looking in, and maybe my hot take was I don't know, for not, but
maybe it's one of those things where if you're in a comedy show, you're in an improv room, things are just funnier in the room.
Yeah, I don't know. Would I okay, think about I'm trying to think about my dad watching this show in 1998. Would he have thought this was funny? I can't think so, but
yeah, that's a good point. Put yourself in your dad's shoes in 1998.
I always try to, yeah. All right, doctor's office. Tim walks in. Doctor's running late. Tim doesn't want to sit in the waiting room because it's all women, I guess, is the joke. I wasn't...
Doesn't seem to be a lot of room as well.
Okay, that might have been another thing. So he has to sandwich himself between 2 heavier women on the couch.
One is very pregnant.
Okay, I guess I did get that. Yeah. All right. In the conversation, they're kind of talking through Tim because he's right in the middle, and they're talking about breastfeeding, sore nipples, leaking. Tim tries to escape, and eventually he does get out. There's no good magazines. It's all sort of female-centric magazines. He gets a Jack and Jill magazine with crayons, and he's going to color in between and probably outside of those lines. But the doctor comes, and he wants to see Tim, and it seems kind of urgent. So
inside and outside of those lines.
He's such an idiot. The first half of this episode, the second part he's better, but it's almost irredeemable. Just some of these scenes with him, I felt.
That's why they had to split it up between a week because you had to have time to forget about what
you got to forget about what you saw. Yeah.
So Dr. Fields is ready to see Tim. We're in the office. Lloyd Fields, I guess we should say. He delivered, presumably all the boys, but definitely Mark. So they have a long-standing relationship. Jill delivers the news that she has a tumor on her uterus, and a major surgery is required, a partial hysterectomy. We do learn right away that 99% of the time these tumors are benign, which is good. I'm surprised they didn't do
oh man, yeah, me too.
a benign joke with Tim, the way things are going, but
yeah, I thought the same thing. Yeah, it's really
but
funny.
they didn't. They held off, so good
it was
on.
Actually too highbrow for this episode.
Then there's more talk about how this is going to affect Jill, how the surgery will affect Jill. No more periods, no more children. I was a bit surprised that the no more children thing is is giving Jill pause? Because it seemed like they settled this seasons ago.
I guess it's just the finality of it.
Yeah.
You find you can say something, but then when you absolutely cannot have it / do it, I guess it just becomes a lot more weighty and more real. I'm guessing. I don't know. But yeah, I sort of thought the same thing because we have heard her pretty definitively say she didn't want more kids, but it might also be a case of I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna keep speculating because I don't know.
You gotta put your money where your menopause is, Jill.
Keep going. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, Jill's not happy about this. And then what makes her really upset is that it's going to be a surgery in like 2 days, basically, because Dr. Lloyd Fields is going on vacation, so it's now or never. Mm-hmm. And, she'll be in the hospital 3 days. Tim ends the scene with, I guess what they're trying to do is bring some levity, but Tim asks more tampon questions to the doctor.
Yeah.
It did remind me a little bit of Dwight asking questions on The Office it was to Toby, but he asked some feminine questions, so it reminded me of that a little bit, I guess, but not quite as funny.
Not quite as funny, yeah. Also, kind of at the end of the scene, Jill's frustrated about the appointment being on Friday because she needs to get her thesis done.
Oh, the thesis, yes. Yeah. That is the thesis of this episode, I guess.
In many ways. All right. Home. Jill's mad at the situation, but mostly she's mad at herself for avoiding the doctor. Mm-hmm. We're getting a lot of levity here with Tim. I didn't write specific jokes, but I had this question in my notes where I thought, isn't this more serious than they're sort of portraying it to be? It does get there eventually, but it did seem in the beginning like they were really sort of playing it fast and loose. Mark comes in with a snowboard he borrowed from Ronnie. Come on, show me Ronnie. I want to see everybody one more time.
Yeah. Especially in the final season. Come on, guys. You can't get Ronnie to show up for $50.
$50. Ronnie should have been featured. He should have been main cast. Jill leaves and Tim tells the boys the situation. Hysterectomy joke that was funny. I can't remember what it was now, but I did type hysterectomy joke funny. Oh, I remember. Tim asks, you guys know what a hysterectomy is? And Brad says no. And Tim says, damn. Like, he has to explain it.
That was pretty funny.
Good.
That was pretty funny. And then his explanation of, like, the moose head in the sink.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything for anybody, but Mark's going to go look it up on the internet, which I love. I love how just calling it the internet just sounds so funny.
Well, now you say you're going to go Google it, so.
Yeah. Skip ahead to, I'll just keep going. Surgery day, early in the morning. The wee hours. Boys slept on the couch. They wanted to see their mom off before she left. Kind of a sweet thing, I thought.
Very sweet.
I liked that. They wake up.
Do you think they're telling Randy any of this?
It's a really good question. It's funny with Randy. He's not even spoken about at this point. Like it's
he just
so funny.
Disappeared. There's no concern.
Like, I don't think since he left for that Christmas episode, have they mentioned him once? I mean, probably, but it is strange.
It seems like this is obviously a very serious episode, and he's probably the closest of the boys with Jill, so it's just funny to have no mention of him, but
it is very funny. Boys wake up only to fall back asleep. A lot of silence here. Jill kind of like looks at them, sort of caresses their heads. Yeah. It's effective, I felt.
This is where it starts getting pretty serious, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. But that is undercut. And I don't say that necessarily as a bad thing here by Tim sort of falling asleep against the wall.
I thought that was pretty funny too.
It's kind of funny, yeah. I don't think it needs to be so sad and sort of full of weight. So I didn't mind that.
Yep. So quickly, we move to the hospital. This is pre-operation, so they're just kind of waiting around. Jill has worked through her feelings, but she's still pretty nervous. I think, anytime you go down for surgery, it's, you never know what could happen. So she's feeling that way. She's feeling very attached to her ovaries still, and that sort of feeling. Tim is... I guess this is when Tim turns into a normal person. I would say the scene is like that change. Mm-hmm. So he's consoling her. You can tell she's a little bit drugged already, which I've never had surgery before, so I don't know when the drugs would be given.
It would have had this rings true.
This checks out? Okay. Mm-hmm. So Yeah, never had surgery myself. She's drugged up, so she's a little loosey goosey. She wants to see her mom. I think that's fair. Every mom makes everything better, and it's time to go. It's surgery time. So we get a quick send off. You can feel the emotion here. I think it's pretty well acted.
I would agree.
Both Tim and Jill. I will keep going because this is short. In the waiting room, in comes a person with scrubs and a mask on, and we see right away that it's Wilson.
A little bit too far for me. I don't know.
Well, you know what? He was just delivering a baby. They were short a midwife. How'd you feel about the midwife crisis?
It's not bad.
Operation was long overdue. Okay.
90-minute surgery going on 3 hours.
Okay, all right. I was thinking that was like she waited.
I mean,
too
it was long
but...
overdue. She skipped out on the gynecologist, so you weren't wrong.
It's a little bit of both. Tim's concerned, as anyone would be in this situation, and Wilson says, the most potent thing that we can do is pray. And Wilson says one, and I think everyone's surprised because I don't know what language he's saying it in. I think he mentions Gandhi, so maybe that's what's happening here. But everyone in the waiting room is surprised when he's chanting in a different language. Tim is nervous, and what does he say at the end? Does he just say amen at the end or something? I don't know.
He does, yeah.
I thought it was actually kind of funny at the end.
I actually think the gag is not too bad. Yeah, I kind of liked it. He does say amen. That's also funny. Tim posits for a second. He says, I want to borrow a gown and sneak in. And a part of me really wanted to see that happen. Because, it would just all of the goodwill they built up. It is funny, yeah. And I thought maybe he could borrow it from that little kid from the nightmare sequence. Scary Gary.
I'm never going to forget Gary's name. I've had several dreams about him myself, and they're very scary.
Oh, man. All right, so, we're drawing to a close here. There actually isn't a ton of meat on the bone with this episode because they're leaving a lot for the second half. So, final scene here. They had to finish it off. So, Jordan, a very nice aerial shot of the surgery.
Naturally.
Surgery, not the table, but the surgery. Jill goes into shock. Like I said, it plays like ER. It's serious business. Tim is praying in the waiting room to himself. Get some sappy music and a very abrupt ending. Does it say to be continued, or does it just come up with the credits?
I think it said to be continued, at least on my DVD.
They would have to spoon feed it. And that's real credits fade to black on Love's Labor Lost Part 1.
Can you imagine if she died here? How would the series change?
That would be an all-time, just terrible finale. I mean, that's the exact opposite of what you want. I guess we should do highs and lows. They're two separate episodes, so
all right.
We can just make it quick. Head on down to Castle's Corner. We'll be there twice tonight. Better get us a parking pass.
It's one of our favorite spots.
We're going to be there so much.
Hopefully we don't get a ticket, actually, for loitering.
We got quarters for the meter. Yeah. I'll go first. Highs. I think the emotional stuff is effective. Basically, I'm going to say 50% of this episode, so second half onward, I liked. I thought the humor blended well with it. We just talked about the prayer joke, the do you know what a hysterectomy line. Damn, that was funny. Tim falling asleep. And I do think Tim plays the emotional kind of distraught husband well. I wish that we could have seen more of that before... seen more of that, and then we wouldn't have had to go down the road of the bambling or rambling fool rather. But I did think the second half was good. The beginning's awful. I mean, it's just you get some.
It's a tale of two episodes, really.
It really is. You get some of the worst jokes we've had in a while. Like the skiing thing is bad. I would put the maxi pad tampon stuff up there as some of the worst stuff they've done in a long time, if not ever. It's just sort of painful, and the period stuff is the menstruation stuff is just sort of is not very tactful. So in the end, I guess I grade this out pretty middle of the road. What works, and what doesn't work is quite bad. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I don't have a lot different to say. I think we pretty much felt the same here. The first part of the episode with Jill saying she hasn't been to the doctor, it had a little bit of a PSA kind of feel to it, which is just a little interesting to me. But yeah, Marty, another paltry appearance by Marty. Paddy goes out with a whimper. So those are just kind of bummers in general. From thinking of other things you haven't said, I mean, there's not a lot to say, but maybe Dr. Fields did an adequate job. I don't know.
Okay, sure. What do you think of the Austrian guy?
I like Dolph. I just don't know that it works that well. Dolph just made me laugh in like this guy is ginormous type of way.
Yeah, it's like, this is crazy. Yeah.
Like there's human beings out there like that. So yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, there you have it. Shall we move on?
Dun dun, part 2.
I have 3 alternative titles for Love's Labor Lost, Part 2.
All right, I only have 2, so you get to go first again.
Visiting hours are over. Ominous, isn't it?
Is this a horror movie or what?
It could have been.
All right, my first one has the opposite effect, I think. It's called Mommy Medicine.
Oh, gross. I don't like that one at all. How about, is it hot in here, or is it just me?
Oh, it is just you, Adam. All right, my last one is...
Daddy Medicine.
It's another alliterative one, though. It's ovarian and out.
Yikes. Okay. For me, my last one, lactose intolerant.
Fine.
I like that one. I thought it was good.
It's good.
She won't drink any milk, Jordan.
Yeah, there's soy milk in there. Come on. That's great.
I have nipples, Tim. Can you milk me? I'll start here. I like this previously on because it starts out with the logo in like a rocking chair, and it has a real like, let me sit back and tell y'all a story. It really was funny. It's like, I got a good old yarn for you, ladies and gents.
Nobody talks enough about the logo. Why didn't the logo have its own story in season 8?
I think a good move would have been to bring the logo into the world of the show. Yeah. He's like the third kid. He takes Randy's room in the basement. And he just like goes to high school. But
he acts really old, which is why he's in a rocking chair. Like he's an old soul type of thing.
Yeah, it's a real smart guy kind of analog, but better. A lot better.
Can it get better than smart guy?
Don't ask the logo. All right. Waiting room. There's an old woman. She tells Tim to sit down. She thinks he's Mr. Wong. He's obviously not. She tries to tell a story. She does tell a story. It's supposed to be of comfort to Tim, but it does end with her husband dying. Doctor thankfully comes out, relieves this woman of her duties, and tells Tim that Jill went into shock, but she's going to be okay. So she's not going to die. I know. Seemed touch and go for a while.
Touch and go for about, I guess that would be about a minute.
Yeah, they didn't leave us.
But like we said, this is a week break, so I guess that's the waiting period.
Right. Doctor had to remove her ovaries. Had no choice. Tim knows that this is going to cause a lot of pain to Jill, and he's worried about her response. Old woman late to the draw.
Yeah, so she comes up and after he's talking, says, "The doctor. Good news, the doctor's ready to see you now."
Yeah, and then that's all I got for the opening. I don't know if I missed anything.
I did laugh when basically Tim says, like, does she know? And he says, no, she doesn't know yet. And he goes, do we have to tell her? I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems kind of funny to me. Yeah, that's all there is to say. Next scene, Tim calls the boys with news from the room. So Jill's not quite in the room yet that Jill's going to be in. But Tim's there calling and says, call your mom when you go home from school. Tell her you love her. Make sure she knows it's your idea, not mine. Jill is wheeled in right then, and she wants the news. She's not messing around.
Yeah.
But the doctor is late, so the doctor can't share the news. Tim's trying to stall a little bit, and it's not going well. She knows what's going on, by Tim's reaction, but she does think it's something worse than what it is. She thinks she has cancer, but Tim says she has twisted sisters. You like that one?
No, that one didn't do it for me.
No.
The puns don't seldom work for me, I guess.
Yeah, you're
what I'm
above
discovering.
Pun humor.
Yes.
Jill feels gutted like a fish. Tim
Yeah.
tries to console her, but she's not happy. It's the roller coaster begins now.
Indeed. Yeah. Nurse burns Tim earlier in the scene. She says, "I watch Tool Time. You're not
Oh yeah,
touching anything."
that's pretty good actually. I like that.
Jill's only 42. She feels as though she's going through menopause 10 years earlier than she should. So, want to weigh in on that at all?
This is where our expertise comes in.
Yes. Okay. Later, Tim's eating bad Jell-O, and Jill, she's ready to work on her thesis.
What's
you know
your
what?
favorite flavor of Jell-O? He's got green here.
I don't really love Jell-O. If I had to say,
What?
I would say orange. I haven't had Jell-O in so many years. But I would say orange. What about you?
We get it whenever we're sick, basically. I guess it's just that type of thing. Red's good. Orange is good. There's strawberry and raspberry, so those are both good. Not a big fan of lime, which is what he has.
I don't like it either. Yeah.
Yeah, but orange is a classic. I kind of want Jell-O right now.
And you said you weren't into Jell-O as much for a while, but then when Bill Cosby kind of got into trouble, you sort of got back into it. Is that
Yeah,
true?
I don't know how that worked exactly. It's like a reverse marketing tool.
Yeah.
But Jell-O was happy that I bought cases and cases of Jell-O.
Big Jell-O benefited.
Big Jell-O. Okay, you said Jill wants to work on her thesis. Sorry, I interrupted with Jell-O talk.
That's all right. Next podcast.
Jell-O talk.
Al and Heidi come to visit at a very inopportune time. It's too soon, and to be honest, it's Tim's responsibility to not let this happen. They come in with flowers and balloons. Jill has a voiceover, a couple of them here, but this first one was really surprising. I was surprised. Yeah, voiceover monologue. She just is not happy that people are there. She doesn't want to see Heidi's body, and she doesn't want to hear about Al's mother's experience. Al's talking a lot about just like family members who have had hysterectomies and so on. And Al, no one wants to hear this stuff from you, pal. Later,
It's not a good scene for
just
Jill, unfortunately.
let somebody else talk about that stuff. Later, Al's still talking about menopause, and he's just going kind of down the family tree. And then there's another visitor, and that's Wilson, and he comes in with a bear. And bad news for Jill is Wilson can stay all day.
Oh, man. Other bad news is the inner monologue says something like, at least the bear doesn't
Yeah.
talk. And to her chagrin, it does talk. So, yeah, things are not going well for Jill right now.
What do you think of inner monologue stuff like this? I feel like it's always a little bit jarring when it's in the middle of an episode like this.
I mean, I think it works better than when we had it with Tim in a couple episodes ago.
That was awful. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I just didn't think too much about it this time.
All right, fair.
At home, Jill comes in, happy to be home, as most people are when they get home from a stay at the hospital. Tim has a bag full of stuff from the hospital. He took it like it's a hotel room. This made me laugh. So he's got like throw-up dishes, toilet paper from the bathroom, all that kind of stuff. So pretty good gag, I thought. Jill's mom is there, though, and this is a surprise for Jill. She's very excited. The boys called her first thing like Tim had suggested, so that's going well. So we think things are going on the up and up for a little bit here as Tim continues to pull out his goodies. And Jill and her mom start to talk a little bit, and Jill, she's still focused on the thesis. I don't know if we mentioned too much about this, but she's pretty focused on it in the not the waiting room, but the outpatient room or whatever.
It's almost like she's using it to distract herself from the actual problem, Jordan.
That is exactly what her mom's going to diagnose her with. So Tim got her an extension, though, on the thesis, and she is peed off and embarrassed. And this is when it's like, okay, Jill, calm down a little bit. This is when it's like, okay, things are really...
If I would say one thing in favor of Jill, Tim should not have told the advisor that it was a hysterectomy.
Yeah.
Too specific, too personal.
Yeah,
Beyond
just
that,
surgery.
Beyond that, I think the extension's great. I think he did the right thing, but it was the specifics that I think for Jill and I were troubling.
Yeah. I'm glad you're lumping you two together. Yeah. She then just goes off against everyone. Al, Heidi, Wilson, all those inner monologue thoughts come out right here. She's feisty. Things are not going well. That's the end of the scene. Next scene.
You said it.
Jill's in her room reading. Her mom brings up some special bread pudding that she used to make when she was younger. Always does the right things for Jill. Tim comes in with some cold milk. She's okay with it until she realizes it's whole milk, and I think they talk about mood swings and hot flashes here. Jill goes to the window and says it's hot in here. And then we get that Jill won't take her estrogen pills, which are supposed to help with some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. Tim's really struggling here.
Yeah.
Jill's struggling here. The whole household is struggling here. Except for Randy. He's doing great.
It's a real I'm out of order, you're out of order. This whole courtroom's out of order. Yeah, one of those things. I thought that PR's acting in the scene was pretty good as she's kind of running through the hot flashes, the irritability, avoidance of the estrogen. I think this is a good scene. I actually think this is a pretty good episode for her because she has to play a lot of different emotions, and I thought she did a good job. Yeah, all right, kitchen. Tim comes down and talks to Lillian. I'm going to miss Lillian, I got to say.
She
really,
is a superstar.
She's great. Yeah, I wish I would have appreciated her more. I think I took her for granted, and then in this episode, I just thought, good character, nice performance. Colonel, he lingers.
The Ghost of the Colonel should have been another alternative title.
Some horny specter. He's just around. Hey, sorry, I gotta go to Korea. So they talk about she talks about going through menopause with the Colonel. This joke is good. It's one of the better jokes in a while. He left for the Korean War when she went through menopause and didn't come home until 1957. Tim says the war ended in 1954, and she says, "Yeah, I know." It's actually pretty funny.
Pretty much every scene Lillian's in is just great, honestly.
Pretty good.
The rest of the scene or episode on, so.
Jill comes downstairs. Tim has left to go get different kinds of milk.
Did you name them all?
No way. Did you?
No, they're in the next scene. Maybe we'll try to get all 7.
Lillian tries to sort of talk Jill into some common sense here, and she says, you're blaming poor Tim on everything. He's doing his best. Jill doesn't want to lecture. She's sort of reverting back to her childish self here a little bit. She doesn't want to lecture, and that's when Lillian really digs in and gets real. Says, Jill, you're hiding behind your thesis. And again, I thought this scene as well, really good acting by PR as she sort of talks through her loss and how she's feeling. They hug. Jill sits down and get an admittance from Lillian here that, back when she went through menopause, that, it wasn't, people weren't so willing to talk about things, and it was hard to sort of go through it alone. Recipe joke? Do you have a note? I have a note on that. Do you remember what that was?
They didn't share very much back in the days, just recipes or something like that.
Apparently,
I guess
like
it wasn't
joke.
Really.
It doesn't sound that funny now, but
you were just high on Lillian at this point.
I guess I was. Jill asks, and then wished that she didn't ask if the Colonel and Lillian still had sex after menopause, and let's just say they did. He was saluting her, and the audience loses their friggin' minds, and I kind of did too.
No, he saluted her for a week.
Oh, for a week. Oh, wow. Specific.
It's the send-off we all want.
She goes out like a rock star,
She really does. There's a really extended laugh line here where Jill has to act surprised twice. I don't know if you noticed that. It's that long that she has to double her surprise.
I didn't notice that, but when a comedy queen like Lillian shows up, best bring your A game.
Mm-hmm.
Move over, Rodney Dangerfield. There's a new comic in town.
It is a great send-off for her, though. I mean, is that the last we see of her? Ever? I guess so.
Gotta be. Yeah, that is good. That's how you want to do it. Because I doubt Marty's going to go out with as much dignity as that.
Probably not. Patty, poor thing, was mentioned at the OBGYN, and that was it. And
At least her hair looked good, though.
not according to Tim.
Well, you know what? I've heard of according to Jim, but according to Tim, that's a new one.
That's a new one. Later at home, Jill is asleep on the couch. Tim tries to sneak in. He doesn't want to, get her mad again. Doesn't quite get past Jill without her waking up. Tim has a bag of a variety of milks because he just didn't know what she would want. So he has, I don't know, whole milk, 2%, soy milk, almond milk maybe, something else for Tim. I forget what it is. That's all the milk they had in the store. He got everything. Mm-hmm. Jill apologizes, shares her concerns, the same things that she had mentioned in the last couple scenes with her mom about, feeling empty and useless and not desirable and all those things. And she asks Tim straight up, do you still find me desirable? And he says, I didn't marry you for your ovaries. I married you for what's inside, which is kind of funny. Crowd likes it. She is going to take that extension after all. Isn't it like a week extension? It's like not that long.
Yeah, not enough.
No, so it makes it seem like, we're going to have 2 months together, but
you're going to want to milk that for all it's worth, to be honest.
Final scene, Tim is learning about menopause. I wrote down, maybe, is he reading a book or did he read a book? I don't remember which, but he does learn that owls and elephant are owls.
Wow. Ouch.
Whales and elephants also go through it.
The Cardman's never coming back on the pod after you said that.
Jill says, how flattering. Tim goes on to say, just like you, I guess, whales and elephants are friendly, fun to ride, and sexy in the right light. And then he says, I'll be in my room. How'd you feel about this joke, Adam?
Oh, I mean, it's not good. It's not good. The episode had built up a fair amount of goodwill for me at this point, so I guess I was willing to let it slide.
Too bad.
Yeah.
That's it.
The episode should have ended with the logo back in the rocking chair saying, well, come on back next time for another...
I swear that's how it happened.
And that's the way it goes. Just be an old logo. By golly. All right. Yeah. Roll credits fade to black. Love's Labor Lost Part 2. Jordan,
Which part is better, Adam?
This one easily.
Yeah, it doesn't have the first 3 scenes that are horrendous. So
this episode is we're heading down to Castle's Corner. Okay. Put a quarter in the meter. This episode's funny, has good lines. Lillian, I know we're maybe embellishing a little bit, but she is really good, and you're right, it is a great send-off for a character.
Anytime you swap out Lily, like Marty for Lily, you're doing pretty good. It's a good trade.
That's
a fancy football trade. That
OKC trading Harden, it's like one of those things.
I was going to say, did someone trade Brandon something here? Or?
Oh, ouch. That's a 1%er. Yeah, no, it's funny. She's good. I always love hearing about the Colonel's sex life. Tim is very nice. Jill, PR's acting is as good as maybe it's ever been. It's really strong. Yeah, I don't know. It took the good parts of the first episode, doubled down on them, and it was effective. Did I enjoy it? I don't know if it's an episode you can enjoy, but I thought it was a well-done episode. And that's all I have to say about that.
Were the boys in part 2?
And that's about all I got to say about that. Come on back now, you hear?
Yeah, there was no logo, so that was a low.
True. Were the boys in this?
I don't...
Yeah.
What did they do?
Jill comes home and... Wait. Yeah, doesn't she know about them calling her? Or they... Huh. Wait a second. I'm working some stuff. I'm clearly working some stuff out. I just exited out of the IMDb. I thought they were in it. You don't think they are?
I don't remember. If they are, it's very briefly. So, whatever. Yeah, I think just to echo what you said, yeah, I think it's pretty funny. Lily kind of steals the show with that one line and that scene as far as, like, memorable moments. Jill does well acting. Tim gets rid of the buffoonish part of him, of the first part, so that's always good. Al and Heidi are there. I don't know. There's not like a lot of lows that happen in this one. You know, there's not a lot of like stinky parts.
Yeah, there's not a. I mean, it's pretty
there's
simple
no stinky.
too. There is no. Well said. There is no stinky. I can't say if they're in this episode. They're credited, but they could. That might not necessarily mean anything. So I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they aren't.
It's a mystery that our fans most certainly will let us know about.
Right. Yep.
I wondered, Adam. I did wonder.
Yeah.
So this is like I'm trying to think of like the most serious episodes of Home Improvement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have this. We have The Longest Day. I mean, Randy leaving, I guess, is pretty serious.
Honestly,
but not quite the same.
Randy coming back is sort of serious too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I was thinking mostly and specifically to like The Longest Day versus this, and like what one maybe was more effective. I felt that The Longest Day tried to be, I mean, despite the two-parter and like the ER feeling at the end of the first one, I felt like for the most part, The Longest Day had a much more serious tone than this did. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm of two minds about it because on one hand, The Longest Day it's just a scarier proposition. Like, and they're treating it as such, like cancer. You know, your son getting cancer. What could be scarier? Whereas this, they're never, you know, is it a matter of life and death ever? I mean, maybe at the end of the first episode they want you to think it is, but come on, I don't think anybody really thought that. You know, so she's just sort of wrestling with something different. So the stakes aren't as high. I don't know, I just sort of felt like maybe her sort of... The stuff with Randy is brief, you know, it's really just that one scene where he sort of breaks down. Whereas this, there was maybe more of that. And she's probably she's a better actor than JTT was when he did that scene. So maybe her stuff was just a little bit more effective for me. But it's neck and neck. It's very close. This episode is trying very hard to be that way. But in some ways, it kind of was successful for me. So I don't know.
Just an interesting thought that I thought I'd put out there.
It's really interesting.
It couldn't be more interesting, honestly. So.
I would like to pose the opposite question of what is like the least heartfelt sort of episode. There'd be a lot in contention. It'd take a long time to get to that.
Yeah, maybe that's something we cover at the end of the podcast. So
that's fair.
But right. Yeah, that's episode 194, 195. Love's Labor Lost. Part
it's a
1
hard
and 2.
one to say. Yeah.
Too many else. I think my favorite episode alternative title that you had a good Arnold Schwarzenegger one that I liked.
I liked Marty Expo 99 because of the visuals.
All right. I guess we'll move on to social media. If you want to reach out to us, go to thehomeandpodcast.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter, YouTube, all the wonderful places that you can reach out to us. And if you'd like to support us, you can go to patreon.com/homeandpodcast or go to Redbubble where you can find our merchandise of Home and Podcast paraphernalia and Lions Just Recovered a Fumble paraphernalia. So
Football's probably going to start soon. So
possibly. We'll see.
You might want to buy some.
We'll see what happens. Either way, you know, Laugh Network is constantly playing Home Improvement.
I'll say, wow. It's crazy. I mean, I don't tune into Laugh a ton, but whenever I get the antenna going, it is definitely Home Improvement. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Adam, do you have any polls you want to share?
I got some Twitter stuff. So a couple days ago, the big news, it was an interesting thing. Richard Karn said that he had big news coming, and then him and Tim Allen started tweeting pictures of tools back and forth to one another. So... The speculation was really I'm serious. The speculation was really going on Twitter. Everybody's like reboot. Seemed pretty unlikely, and in the end, it wasn't likely. But they did officially announce something that I mentioned a while back. Their joint show on the History Network. It's a competition show. They're co-hosting. It's for people who repair things instead of replace them. Not a lot of information besides that, but they're both in it. It's a competition, and it's on the History Channel. And, hey, man, I guess we're keeping the podcast going. I don't even know what it's called. I don't think.
I just love the idea that two people were just tweeting pictures of tools at each other, and that got everyone a buzz.
It honestly did, though, and I know because I was there.
And you were. I mean, how many tweets did you send off in that hour span?
Quite a few, actually. Yeah,
I believe it. So, man.
That's like we kind of live for those moments, Jordan. Come on.
I know. We just wait. We've been waiting 4 years for that
Home
moment.
Improvement's relevant like once every blue moon, so I got to get in on the action. Okay, there's a little bit more information. Home Improvement reality TV show that will spotlight national builders as they breathe new life into everyday household items in need of fixing. I mean, I'll definitely watch the first one. Count me in.
Sounds like an episode.
Yeah, I think so. And for those of you asking, have I reached out to Richard Karn about him and Tim Allen coming on the show? Yes. What did he say? Maybe.
Never.
He said maybe. He said I'll let you know, which means probably, definitely. So beyond that, there is a poll though, and pretty good poll if I do say so myself. So based on that news, I asked, what other duo would you want hosting a show on the History Channel? And we got some doozy combinations, Jordan.
I can't wait to hear this.
Mark and Wilson hosting a show.
Oh my gosh.
Brad and Benny hosting a show. Jill and Willow hosting a show.
How'd you pick these pairs?
Or Randy and Bowersox hosting a show. I tried to think of the combos that sounded the least appealing, and then I typed them in. All right.
Randy and Bowersox.
Any predictions of who won? I'll tell you, it was extremely close.
I mean, I can't see why not. I guess I'm gonna say, who was the first one? Wilson and
Mark and Wilson?
Going with that one. Wilson's carrying that team.
Incorrect. All right, results were 20% said Randy and Bowersox. 22.9% said Mark and Wilson. 25.7% said Jill and Willow. That would have been my pick. And 31.4% said Brad and Benny.
Oh my god.
Ben Pope said Brad and Benny could do a sports gambling show called Hey Yo. That's fine, but how's that going to work on the History Network?
I mean, the
history of sports betting? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they just kind of do like Ancient Aliens and stuff, so who cares?
I've not watched much history in my life. Sarah Shortstuff said none. I'd rather have Wilson and Al or Randy. Well, guess what?
That's not how this
not
works.
An option. People keep misunderstanding polls.
You can't just make your own rules. We make the rules.
We make the rules. Obviously, the best option is going to be Wilson and Randy. Like, if that were there, it would have been 100%. These are purposely bad. Don't
Otherwise,
get me
this
too
is
riled
not
up.
interesting. Yeah.
It's too late. It's too late for me to get riled up. Yeah, so other than that, nothing. No, that's it.
All right. Well, that was a jam-packed episode. Enjoyed it.
It's funny we can get through 2 episodes as fast as we can get through one, if we want to.
If we want to get through the banter, of course.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
That's mostly not what we do. But you know what? That's 2 episodes in one. That means we're on to episode 196 next time. We're getting real close to the end.
I know, it's wild, Jordan.
Crazy and wild stuff.
It's crazy. But what are we covering next week? And I've already watched it, so...
Oh, well, I have not, so I'm excited to do that tomorrow.
Hey,
Neighbors.
guess what? You know what? I don't want to tip my hat, but it's not too bad.
Well, I'm excited to watch it tomorrow.
I'm gonna say one thing about it. I felt like it was a throwback Home Improvement episode. Maybe it would remind you of something from the first 2 seasons.
Oh,
watch it.
Those are good.
Watch it, see if you agree. Maybe I'm wrong, but you might agree. All right, well.
I like that you
then,
say watch it, like I'm not going to watch it and then
you
cover it on
gotta
Friday.
watch this episode, Jordan. You can't skip out on this one. You gotta watch it, okay? Otherwise, it's gonna be hard. Jordan, thank you for joining me, listeners. Thank you for listening, and I guess I should say, take care.
Take care, everybody.